Guys, we are back to make our Yeti in a sweater. Now, if you did not finish your entire sweater to a level 4, where you colored it in neatly and completely with all of your awesome patterns that you created on your own to be a fashion designer, I want you to stop this video, go back, and finish this first. Once you're finished, I want you to show me, because I love to see your awesome fashion designs you made for your sweater. Once you are finished and you've showed me, you're ready for the next step. The next step is pretty short, pretty easy, pretty simple. The first thing we're going to do is take a regular Sharpie. Last time you used a big jumbo Sharpie. Today we're going to use just a regular Sharpie that we find at the art store. Now you could use a skinny Sharpie. If you'd like to borrow a skinny Sharpie from my desk, come on up and get one. The skinny Sharpies say ultra on the side. They say ultra fine point. That means they're extra skinny, extra fine. This one's dried out, so I'm going to put this one in the dried marker bin, but you could come up and get one from the art store if you want. I'm just going to use my regular Sharpie. What we're going to do is we're going to create texture. Texture is when you make your artwork look like it feels a certain way. So we're going to make our Yeti have texture that it's like fuzzy and has lots of hair on it. So we kind of already did that with our zigzaggedy lines that we made around his head or her head. But we're going to keep adding more texture by adding these little dashed lines all around the fur around his or her face. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scrap right, just making little dash marks all the way around like this. And I'm making them nice and little. It's kind of relaxing. I'm just making a dash and I'm moving around with my marker, making more dashes. If your marker dries out, it could mean that you're just going too fast, because you do have to go a little bit slow for the ink to come out. But if it starts to get dried out, you can put it in the dried marker bin, or the marker graveyard, I like to call it, and get a new one. Alright, once you go around the whole head, see that? There's a little bit of hair. Let's add some more hair by going around a second time. If I end up going too fast for you, you can always press pause and catch up, or you can even rewind the video if you need to. Alright, I took my time and I went around 2 times. Notice that I'm not going really fast. I'm taking my time and going all the way around, and I still have more room, so I'm going to keep going. One tip with your Sharpie is if you hold it straight up and down, it works a little bit better. So if you feel like it's running dry, try holding it up straight and see if that helps. I'm going to go around again, but this time when I run into the edges, I'm just going to skip over a place where I run out of room and then move down to the next part. Alright, boys and girls, now I'm going to go back around and just see if I have any gaps. Like I have some gaps up here that I can fill in, and I have a little bit of a gap down at the bottom. I'm just going to fill those in with some more dashed lines. Okay, awesome. So I am finished with my furry, fuzzy mane around the outside of my Yeti. It looks really fuzzy now that I have all these little dash marks. So I'm going to put my cap back on my Sharpie. I'm going to put that away, and it's time for the last step for today. So you have 2 options. You can use chalk. So you're going to have to ask instead of shine marker chalk. If you would like to use chalk, chalk is very messy. So if you don't like to get messy, you're going to want to use colored pencils instead. We already know how to use colored pencils. So I'm going to show you how to use chalk if you'd like to do this. So the first thing we're going to do is make our Yeti look kind of cold. And part of the way we can make it look cold is by using a light blue to make the rest of his face a little bit blue. And to do that, we're just going to go around the edge. We're not going to color the whole thing. Just going to go around the edge. And look, My hands are already very messy. This is what I'm saying about chalk. So a good idea is to get a tissue like this and kind of rub your fingers off as you're going so you're not making a big mess. So I'm going to go around the edge. And if you were using a colored pencil, you could do the same thing with colored pencils. Go around the edge like this with your colored pencil. But I'm going to go ahead and keep using my chalk. The cool thing about chalk that you can't do with colored pencil is you can actually, once you're finished going around the edge, you can put that down, wipe off your finger, and then you can either use your tissue or your finger to carefully blend. Now we're not going to go like this really fast, and we're not going to just do this with our finger really fast. We're going to carefully use our finger as an art tool to just gently smudge around the edges that we just colored. So as you smudge, you can kind of pull it in towards the middle, but we want to try to keep our fuzzy white fur white. So we don't want to go back and forth like this because that's how we get chalk all over the white parts. We just want it inside his face or her face. Okay. Once you do that, you can wipe your finger off with your tissue and you are ready for the next step. So the next step you could use chalk for if you want, or you could use colored pencil. I'm going to use colored pencil because I don't have a pink chalk. You could use red for this if you wanted to. But I don't know if you know this, but when you're really cold, sometimes your face and your cheeks turn red or pink because the blood is flowing in your face trying to keep you warm. So we're going to make some rosy cheeks for our Yeti because it's so cold. Sometimes your nose might get kind of red or pink too. You could kind of make your Yeti's nose pink as well. So I'm just making kind of a really light circle. I'm not pressing hard. If you were to do this with your chalk, you would just take a tiny, tiny bit, just like a little teeny dot, and then again, use your finger as an art tool to blend it out. That makes it look more realistic because it's subtle. It's not like really bright. It's very subtle. So there we go. My Yeti is nice and cold. All right, so the last thing we can do is we can find a gray. I have a gray chalk I could use, or you could find a gray colored pencil. And we're going to do the same thing we did before with his face, but we're going to do his horn. So we're going to go around the outside very carefully with our gray. Do it on both sides. And remember, if I go too fast, pause the video or rewind it. If you forgot to do something, you can stop it with that. So I put my chalk down and I'm going to use my finger one last time as an artist tool. I'm going to make sure it's cleaned off. I'm just going to rub gently inside my horn. I'm not rubbing outside my horn. I'm not rubbing in the white fur. I'm gently rubbing inside my horn. The light's turned off. All right, so now my Yeti is finished. So tune in next time and we will work on the background, and I can't wait to see what you create. See ya.